Prepare to fight. Round begins in
So, yeah.
3.
Where do we want to start on?
1.
Falls on Toxic, and Toxic gets the upper spawn, picks up the light, and will make his way over to the Mega Health. So no little cheesy fight at the start at the heavy or for the railgun. Collects a rocket launcher. Sidekeix delays his item a little bit, and now we see a fight, and it's rocket launcher against starting shotgun. Add some acid on top of that, and Sidekeix has no chance making it to a health bubble. Toxic opens the fragging 20 seconds inside of the first map. Here we go.
Yeah, that was a quick frag. Oh, and look at the aggressiveness of Tox. Yeah, he plays a big champion, so he has some stack to work with. And he's also known as an aggressive player. Cydkeix gets the mega health though, but he also used his vision. So, oh, and he gets spotted by Tox, who just hits his rail right after the bat. And yeah, Cydkeix is, especially after the second rail, worse for wear.
The delay between the items is not too big, but Toxic looks like he wants to get the mega and then fight Sidekeix at the heavy. Despite losing it, he should be able to pick up the frag and lands the rail off the bounce pad. Sidekeix was just, yeah, it was just like shooting fish in a barrel here. Hitting a rail up a bounce pad, it's just routine at this point. And Toxic pressures the visor even more, opens up with some lightning gun tickling, now is low on ammunition, and Cydkeix is holding position on the mega health. Toxic spits connect, and this should spell the end, but no!
Oh, wow.
Picks up the mega mid-fight, but then the direct rocket and the combination with the railgun finish it off for Toxic nonetheless. No lightning gun ammunition, looks for rail before taking the item. Good choice there. Not only denying his opponent the opportunity to push, but also widening the gap between the items and making a full rotation a lot easier for the next time they spawn.
But now Tox is, he was a little bit weak, but he hit that rocket on Cydkeix, and Cydkeix vacates the area. Uses vision, yeah, probably just to escape. Ooh, he's taking position on the heavy with not much stack to work with, and Toxic goes around the corner and finishes another frag on Cydkeix.
Cydkeix now on the back foot, tries to get out of there and pick up the lower light, but gets hit by a rail before even able to taking it up really, so it doesn't really have much of an effect for him. And Toxic just piles on the damage onto him. Cydkeix, 100 HP, a little bit armor left. Heavy's about to spawn. The Toxic just wants more damage. He knows that his opponent won't show up at the item, so he can't just shop for damage for days.
Yeah, Cydkeix has his vision up. It's being used, and he gets the opening damage, but Tox is just such a force to reckon with.
Stopwatch.
What? His move was a little bit too aggressive. Cydkeix is hitting his shot, and he gets on the board. Follow up.
Can't connect the rail.
It's unfortunate, because now he will lose out on the heavy.
Yeah, it was a good play from him, trapping him after the spawn, but Toxic starting machine gun just out-damaged Cydkeix when he didn't hit connect with the railgun there. Unfortunate, nice play still from the underdog in this matchup.
Oh, but he wasn't aware that Toxic had an angle on him. Oh, now he has an angle on Toxic, but doesn't connect his shot. And he's just out of real territory. Toxic, yeah, does another rocket jump. Does a lot of damage. Cydkeix was looking for an escape, and he got one, but not before taking a rocket to the face. And now the lizard lady is on the hunt.
It's like a shark, he smells blood and he just can't stop until he gets what he wants. In the end, it's a clean pickup for Toxic. Cydkeix can't answer a rocket jump to speed up the game and keep the snowball alive. Cydkeix has no stack, and they will find him on the stairs, and Cydkeix with no HP left. Toxic sacrifices a lot of stack into the rocket jumps, but another direct, and Toxic is on 100% for sure. Like, so many rockets are connecting for the Swede.
Yeah, and it's also he invests that stack at the right moment, because there is a major item to fall back on. So even if he gets a little bit hurt by it,
5-minute warning.
I do think there is a window, because now the second time he had like he was in raidable territory after that rocket jump. So if there is a moment that cydkeix has the rail on his hand and connects his shot, he will be in for his second frag. But right
like
now,
this situation before he picked up the health bubble.
Yeah.
cydkeix couldn't connect the shot. Connects it now though, but he doesn't show up at the item. He falls back to pick up the upper light instead. And this could come back to haunt him, especially because he got hit by a rail and toxic. Definitely has the stack and the right to be here and establish control over this area. cydkeix though needs to fall back and reevaluate what he's doing. Takes frags. It's a big map. You can play defensive on this map as well. And being the slower champion, cydkeix really needs to put in the effort here to make this combo work.
and toxic isn't really looking for a fight anymore. He's fine with invading the damage and take off position at the exit. But cydkeix is choosing the long way around. So is meeting toxic, and he has position for the mega health.
Yeah, it seems like toxic is not just practicing his combat skills in this one, but rather going for a complete dual play already, trying to get the rotations going, and even though the safe play and the defensive play needs to be on point as well, so toxic looks like he really puts in the hours to make this work. Gives his opponent the full control though. Let's see if this comes back to haunt him. There we go, nice rail from cydkeix, and this was without the vision. Bear in mind, it's just about to be off cooldown again. Toxic now gets the mega timing. Let's see what he can do with this, Rob.
Yeah, if there is a moment, it should be now. Oh, he gets the first damage on himself. cydkeix gets hit by a rocket, but he still has enough stack. Ooh, the spit though. Yeah, I think this was a moment to fight for the heavy. He's still outstacking Tox, even after this fight. Ooh, but yeah, the Toxic has the better position. Even during that fight. He takes a rail, but is there to take the mega health. And now cydkeix is in a little bit trouble. Toxic isn't hitting his shots.
If he didn't have an air control champion there, he might have rocket jumped himself out of the map as well. Toxic now got the heavy, rocket jumped immediately into his opponent's face, just to make his stack advantage work, and hitting the spit is definitely how you can utilize that. cydkeix takes his life from himself, and Toxic is now 7-0 up. Oh, hammers him with the rockets around and slaps him in the face. There's this Toxic's map.
Yeah.
Stopwatch.
But it's also a bit typical, right? If you play against such a player that has a much higher skill than you have, you tend to play overly defensive and not go for the plays you usually go.
Well, this is the moment where he could be dying. cydkeix used the piercing sight for this, but he knows where his opponent is. He can't hit the killing blow though. And Toxic is just out of raidable territory anymore. cydkeix though has the right rotation going and can push him, but he's not sure about the exact position of Toxic. Toxic uses the rocket jump. There we go. cydkeix finishes him off and gets his frag back.
Wow, the first rocket Toxic shoots, lands, and gives cydkeix major damage, followed up by the tribals. Yeah, you hear the stories, right, in the interviews when pro players gets asked on who does the most damage, and it's definitely Toxic with all the weapons he has in his arsenal.
see, Toxic is one of the players that has the most well-rounded arsenal by a long shot, and he even gets the last frag of this first map.
You win.
GG 11-2. cydkeix though showed some glimmer of hopes for him that he might be able to take his own map.
Yeah, 2 frags on the board, but it's actually 3, right? Because yeah, he when he knew he would die from the spit, he decided to take his own life. That's the honorable thing to do. So yeah. Yeah, I don't think we can really judge how Tox's skill level is right now. But it is good enough to take a good lead over cydkeix.
It is.
So
As for now, we just see how well he can perform on one of the newer maps. How much time he invested into practicing those. There we go. Toxic calls ready in. We are just waiting for cydkeix's champion to change, and his ready. Toxic just immediately starts, no matter what. cydkeix has not changed to Ranger. There you go, just in the last second. And we're in for the second map.
yes.
The Ice Castle, Exile, the Lost World. I don't know if that's correct, but yeah, it's one of the one of the most holiest maps we have in Quake Champions. And it's notorious for a lot of ring outs.
True. Arma GG, thanks for the follow, and Pyrotechnuke, thanks for the follow. So yeah, let's start on the underdog, a member of Iberican, because
Round begins
the
in
2v2 duo.
2, 1. Fight.
Portals.
cydkeix here with the lightning gun spawn immediately rotates over to the heavy, so he does not want to risk Tox snitching that away from him. And now he can deal damage on the item. He misses the rail by an inch though, and it looks like he denies it for another cycle. Yes, there you go. Makes his way over, sees Toxic at the lightning gun though, but can't get another angle. And Toxic is really avoiding all the rail angles. There, cydkeix finally can utilize his range advantage. And now he just needs to make sure that he keeps the range advantage. But no, Toxic... Yeah, he still didn't make his way down, and it seems like they are up to trade an item. cydkeix with the orb can still make his way over to the heavy at the same speed as Toxic, but he decides to do it without the orb and uses it to get out of the fight.
Wow.
He didn't pick up the heavy, but a beautiful railgun.
Kill.
And cydkeix in the lead.
That was such an unpredictable thing to do. It was a little bit crazy, but it worked. He's still a little bit worse for wear there, but he got some poverty items, and I think, yeah, Toxic still doesn't have the rail. Oh, he walks into a totem though, and now Toxic is on the chase with some steady LG. He retreats though. He wants some control on the map, because both items spawn right after each other. I think he's going for full control, yeah, and cydkeix is still worse for wear.
Information gain for cydkeix though. Toxic should have information as well. cydkeix gives his position away with the rocket. And now taking the teleporter is a huge risk. He makes it out alive somehow and barely undamaged as well. But he shouldn't really show up for this one. He does anyway. Lands a rail. I was gonna say it was unreturned, but it wasn't. The orb gets reactivated a bit too early. And Toxic gets the frag before he falls down into the abyss. Shoves him out of the map, and the fragging begins for the Swede.
Yeah, and a quick follow-up.
May the power heal you.
Yeah, cydkeix got sent out of the map with the LG. I do think he stole the heavy before, but yeah, Tox has the map on lockdown after his second frag. It looks to me. Yeah. He can even rotate for a frag and then go back to collect the heavy. And there's a nice split
Gods do not smile
between the
upon
armor and the mega health.
A great weapon selection as well. Toxic using the lightning gun up until he's close and personal switches to the rocket to finish off the frag. And Toxic is just showing why he's such a master of combat. Once again, spiraling all the frags. A lot of them came in less than a minute.
Oh, sorry guys.
Toxic now really wants to establish and keep the control, doing so much damage to his opponent, taking the teleporter. Fortunately, cydkeix did not see it coming and didn't place a rocket right in front of the exit, so the lightning gun was enough to finish off a weak cydkeix. They play a ring around the rosy, and I think Toxic is just able to control his opponent's movement super well with his own movement. Some nail gun tickling as well, but this should be going to cydkeix, and cydkeix picks up the item. He's a lackluster arsenal so far, but yeah, lightning gun on this range is sufficient enough. Toxic though, with the opening rocket, dealt way more damage. Beautiful choice of the shotgun there, and another kill. Toxic looks very solid at the moment.
Yeah, there's 2-minute delay, so it will take a while. Sorry guys. But yeah, Toxic is just on a rampage. Well, there is an item for cydkeix to pick up right after he spawns. But he did not do any damage to Tox. So... yeah, he still has a lot of work to do to get an in on his next frag.
My life sustains you.
And with Heavy being the next item, and cydkeix just eating a rail just beforehand, I don't think he's gonna show up. He does anyway. Toxic held the angle for such a long time, but in the end, cydkeix sneaks through and sneaks even on further. Orbs into Toxic's face with less than 30 stack, lands a beautiful fadeaway rail, and for some reason he managed to equalize the stacks.
Oh. That looked like a real jump, but it was, yeah. Because the corners are a little bit slippy, he just bounced back from it. So...
Impressive.
yeah, but now Toxic is pretty low and cydkeix gets a major item. If he can go on a hunt. Oh yeah, the light pickup gave up a hint though, and Tox is, yeah, he knows where the attack will happen. So he takes upper position, try to do some damage, but yeah, it's a clean pickup for Tox. The mecha might go to cydkeix again, but yeah, Tox has his totems to fall back on if there is a fight. Oh, but he gets a clean rail. So cydkeix is a little bit worse for wear, and he... I think he tried to remove the totem, but it wasn't successful.
Yeah, Toxic having 2 totems up. The third is about to spawn. Doesn't even really need that pickup. He can just steal damage and be in tank conditions nonetheless. Beautiful rotation, nice damage. Toxic places this totem at the tele exit, so he knows where cydkeix is going to escape to, and he hunts him down. Toxic being careful though that he doesn't take too much damage, and I think that's a great way of chasing and locking your opponent down in an area. Giving away another item, and now it becomes a bit dangerous. Missing the killing blow, and cydkeix getting rid of 2 totems but running into a direct rocket, and Toxic, even though it looked like he loses control for a bit there, he just maintains it after all.
Oh, now there is a chance, but no! Toxic holds the angle and waits for cydkeix to walk into his crosshair. And he just had to click at the right moment. Wow! And he gets low, but still he is the one who gets the finishing blow. And yeah, well, maybe... I think cydkeix should just shoot plus forward for the whole 2 minutes and try to get a frac on the legend that is toxic.
I mean, in the end, comeback is fairly impossible. Impossible at this moment. So yeah, just give us a show, right? And I mean, you can do something for your ego or your confidence as well if you get a clean and then some nice frags here.
It might
Beautiful
be happening.
HMG tracking though. Toxic is still worse for wear after this damage he dealt to cydkeix.
Yeah, I'll give cydkeix some screen time. Let's see if we can cheer him on onto his next frac. But yeah, he's doing the damage, but toxic is just able to restack up quick enough before the next fight. Yeah, his routes are also pretty elusive, right? It's hard for cydkeix to chase the damage up. So the out of control play of toxic looks amazing. Ooh, his shotgun did not connect his shot, but thankfully cydkeix falls into his totem. Or unfortunate actually. We were cheering for cydkeix.
Yeah, and I mean,
Faster.
toxic warming up, the engine is running, and this one looked so much better in terms of control and rotation. He was in so many great positions compared to his opponent. This looked promising, a lot more than the first map in my opinion. So we can be looking forward to see more of the Swede.
Yeah, but we certainly will get more of him.
Yeah, I'm trying to get. I was watching a little bit on the brackets, and Toxic is going